So I will go ahead and start the main presentation. Our first speaker, Carrie Friedman, is someone I'm sure many of you already know. Carrie is a licensed clinical social worker and has been the director of family and patient services at the Parkinson Association for the past 21 years. Carrie also works for the University of Colorado's Neuropalliative Care Clinic and is a wealth of knowledge for the Parkinson's community. She offers one-on-one assessments for newly diagnosed individuals or those with a recent change in progression. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Carrie for her presentation on tips for a positive holiday experience.
Hi guys, can you all hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, good. So this time of year is normally a little bit stressful, getting ready for the holidays, and now with our wonderful pandemic, we have even more challenges, but we're going to make it really positive in a way that can make it easier for you to make it through it. So Elena, you want to do the next slide? Okay, so you're going to share laughter and happy times with families that gather for the holidays pre-COVID. So now you can do it where you're going to do Zoom or on the phone. So we're going to talk about some things that pre-COVID and COVID time. So when you're getting ready for holidays, people say, "Oh, everything's going to be wonderful, joyful," but wait. Okay, Elena, next slide. There's that elephant in the room. It's Parkinson's. You know, that you see that wonderful mama elephant with her little baby elephant, and you think, oh, things are just peachy and wonderful, and they're not always that way. They're kind of challenging. Okay, next slide. So people wonder, can I have an enjoyable holiday season? What does that mean? We've got Thanksgiving coming up next week. And so we think about, oh, am I going to prepare a big meal? I want to have all my family there and we're not going to be able to do it because of this challenge of COVID, but also because how is that going to be fun for us? Because do we have any Smiths here? I don't think we have any Mr. Smiths, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Do we know? Okay, so Mrs. Smith has Parkinson's. Mr. Smith is kind of wondering, how am I going to make it through having Thanksgiving? What kind of food are we going to eat? And how can Mrs. Smith, she may have issues with swallowing, so how am I going to do this and make it peaceful for all of us? And she might have problems with her voice, so when she talks, she talks really softly. So because of Parkinson's, it's hard to hear her. So how are we going to have a good holiday season with either Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, you name it? How are we going to do this? Next slide. So there's different tips for dealing with Parkinson's and planning your holiday events without being stressed. And there's a few of them here. And then I want people to chime in, not at the end, right now. If you have some questions, just raise your hand, let Elena know. Because I'm one that likes to have interaction with folks. So not to only lecture, so people can talk and ask questions as we go, okay? So consider ahead of time what you may have to, what's expected of you. Are you going to have to prepare the meal yourself? If it's you and your partner, did you participate? If you have Parkinson's, if the person with Parkinson's used to make the meal, then the care partner has to do it now. So you expect what you might have to do with this, your feelings and all that. And so both socially and emotionally, it's something to prepare yourself for. So then what you want to do is try to plan your events and gatherings within the middle of the day, so that it will allow some downtime. I know that people, because I do a support group now in the evening, and some people can't join it because their Parkinson's symptoms are worse, or the care partner is helping them get ready for bed. Some people can't do it in the morning or in the afternoon because their symptoms are not working, or the partner is working outside of the home. So you have to plan ahead about knowing when Mrs. Smith has a hard time. So if you're going to have something usually in the evening, try thinking about having it during the daytime, because this way there's not as much stress on you. So, and then if people take naps, if you as the care partner want a break to take a nap, then you do that so it allows you some time to rest too. Because I always tell people that Parkinson's, the person who has Parkinson's, they have the physical symptoms and non-motor symptoms of Parkinson's, but the family and the care partner lives the Parkinson's too. So I don't ever want people to feel that you are excluded. You're just as important as a person with Parkinson's. And in the palliative care team, when we work with people, it's not only focused on the person who has Parkinson's, but also the patient's family, care partner and family, and all those involved with needing some help. So I want you to take care of yourself too. Keep as much as possible to the person's typical daily schedule. So like I said, if Mrs. Smith is really tired during the day or has to take their medications at certain times of the day, make sure you keep up with that. Make it the routine of giving them their medications on time, making sure that if they're able to eat, get that ready throughout the day. If they needed it to be modified, their food, then you continue to do what you do. And don't feel obligated to keep up with all the holiday traditions. So some people like to make a huge turkey for Thanksgiving, and some people like to just get a turkey breast in the deli. You know, grocery stores now are notorious for making meal preparations where they will actually make the whole meal for you. And that is great. A lot of times it's better than what I make. So you can do that and have different, sorry for my phone ringing. What you'll do is you know, some people need to not do the actual making of the meal so they can go order it ahead of time. So if you were one, like I said, that like to make the meal, but it's too hard, you're having a hard time yourself, then make sure you do that, okay? And so anyway, next slide. So, okay. So meal preparation, simplify your life. Make sure you are making it, it doesn't make you less of a person if you don't make the whole meal or don't make, you can buy frozen food, you can make a list of simple things you need to do, straightforward goals that you do for yourself. So be realistic about your expectations for yourself and the person you're making, and prioritize those occasions that are most important to you. So maybe Thanksgiving is not a big holiday for you. Don't make a big deal out of it. Maybe Christmas is your most important holiday, then you focus on that. If you want to have a traditional meal, then do it. You know, we may be limited with the number of people in person and attendance, so you don't have to worry. A good thing is that not having a lot of people, you don't have to prepare for a large group. You don't have to clean up after everybody. And if someone has a soft voice and they're around the table and this I want you to keep with, even after we're done with the COVID stuff, that when you are with your large group of family and friends, and the person who has Parkinson's talk and has a hard time speaking, and they talk very softly, and then they feel like they can't share because nobody can hear them, then maybe make them in the middle of the table and give time for them to talk, give space for them to talk. So you'll sit there and you'll listen. And it feels strange not to jump in because we're used to having to fill in the space. And what I want you to do is let the person talk. When it's just you and your partner, then go ahead and let them talk. That's important that they can get their thoughts out there and how they're feeling and what they want to talk to you about. You know, maybe they're feeling sad that things aren't the way they used to be. We're all kind of having a hard time because of the COVID, and it's not the way it used to be. There's that, I hate here saying it, but the new norm today, but every day should be a new norm. And you can look at it in a positive way, that what kind of challenges are you having that you can make to be a good thing for you. So what I'd like you to do when you have your, you know, and we all think about having a meal, and it really doesn't have to be the center of your holiday. What are you thankful for Thanksgiving? Are you thankful for not coughing? Are you thankful for being able to have Zoom? We're really fortunate that we have this technology, that we have people from all over the state and out of the state. When I do the support group on Wednesday nights, I have people from northern Colorado all the way to the southern part of Colorado. And so this way, you know, we can be with people, we can be with each other. And so when you are making your meal, your traditional meal or not, you're just going to be together. And that's what I want you to focus on. I know that this is challenging when you have a loved one that has Parkinson's, because it's a chronic condition. You know, it doesn't go away. It's there for the long haul. And you get to go on that journey with them. So how going on that journey is it going to be for you? Are you going to go to the left where it's wonderful, everything's great, you're taking a left turn on your road, and oh my gosh, I'm glad we're alive and we're together and we've been together for 57 years, or like the Queen, 73 years, her marriage in England? Or is it that you have some hard times and then you also have some good times? So it's a chance to reconnect with your loved one, and try not to think of Parkinson's as defining who they are, because Parkinson's can overwhelm you and overtake you. So on your left road, when you're thinking, oh, everything's good, we're together, we made a great dinner, you didn't burn the turkey like Carrie does, it's not dry like Carrie does, and I don't have to have the turkey that Carrie has. And then you go in the middle of the road, and we all have little speed bumps in it, where things are steady and then boom, it's something happens. Maybe all of a sudden the medication isn't working, or I choked when I was eating, or things are good, I'm moving along, and then I then have something else that comes up. So the one consistent thing, and I'm kind of going ahead of my slides, is that Parkinson's is inconsistent. So how you guys deal with that is how you make your lives to go well. So then to the right, when you take the right turn, it's horrible. You know, he's not doing well, she's not doing well. I'm tired, I can't make a meal, I can't do the holidays, I don't want to do this. Things aren't so jovial. Can't find joy in anything. And if you're having problems with depression as a care partner, that's okay. You know, you're going to have those hard times, but then if it continues, then you need to then it would be wise to talk to someone to get some help. And so, you know, you want to make sure, then you go back to the main road. So you have that negative road, on the left you have the positive road, and in the middle is where we're at. So when you're going over the roads, and so the road, and you have those speed bumps, know that you are doing everything right. There's no way you can say that I am perfect. None of us are perfect. And I think care partners tend to try to do everything for their loved one. And then if you don't do everything for your loved one, you feel guilty. So know that it's okay. You don't have to do everything. So I have here on the end about the diet restrictions. So you follow what works best for the person with Parkinson's, and don't forget to make something good for yourself. So, in the holidays right now, we're using this theme, the holidays, and simplifying your life. I want you to do things for yourself. So sometimes we forget about taking care of ourselves because we put a priority on our loved ones who have Parkinson's. And it's a piece of who they are. It doesn't have to define them or you who they are. And so I want you to get out of Parkinson's. Today you're here because of Parkinson's, which is good because you're getting some tips on what to do for yourselves to simplify your life. And we forget to simplify our lives. So what I want you to do when you hang up today, and it's a beautiful day, is to go out and enjoy the day. And I will get into that. Can we do the next slide, please? Okay, so preparing for the holidays and PD with limitations. So like I said, you need to be realistic about things. Don't set yourself up for failure, because if you say, I'm gonna do all this stuff, we're gonna use Thanksgiving as an example. I'm gonna make the turkey, I'm gonna make the stuffing, I'm gonna do the cranberries, I'm gonna do potatoes, I'm gonna do all this stuff. And you are gonna have, let's say pre-COVID, have the family over, and then COVID, not having family over. So how do I do Zoom? And you all did it today, so congratulations. Give yourselves a pat for doing that. And or a clap and a pat on the back that you did it. That you know, be real. This is Helen. Don't feel like you need to do everything. Okay. Don't set yourself up for failure. So it's like climbing a mountain. You are climbing a 14er. I talked to a guy the other night who climbed a 14er, and which I don't do, but he did it, and he has Parkinson's, but he was able to do that. And so if you know that you're not able to do something that drastic, or that to do a 14er, you know, it's okay. So don't feel like you have to climb a mountain. You can do things beyond your road to having some smoothness. And you're going to want to start where the person's at. So the person who has Parkinson's, you want to start where they're at, meaning if they're, and you have to do it that day. Where are they today? Are they having a hard time today because they did too much yesterday and so they're exhausted today, and you had all these plans for the holidays? Then you kind of maybe cut back a little bit, and then you go from there. So don't set yourself up for failure. You're not going to have to be in a negative place. You learn to live in the here and now. And whenever someone has a chronic condition, whether it's Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, I heard the lady talking earlier, you know, you have to be where you're at right now. Because we tend to be, when we're kids, they tell you when you're in kindergarten, what do you want to be when you grow up? And kindergartners tend to say, I want to be a school teacher, I want to be a kindergarten teacher, because that's what they know. Or I want to be a pilot, I want to be a policeman, I want to be a fireman. And so we think of that. Then as we go into high school, do you want to go to college? Where do you want to go to college? What do you want to do? What kind of degree do you want to have? And then when you graduate, okay, so now we're in the workforce. What do I do now? And then you go to an interview and they say, okay, where do you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now in an interview? Well, you can say, I'd like to be, this is my goal of where I would like to be. I don't know if that'll happen. And then we have some of the young onset people with Parkinson's who get a diagnosis of Parkinson's. And then the person, do they think that's where they would want to be, is have a chronic illness? No. So we have to learn to live right here, right now. So a lot of you folks have been married or been with your partner for 50 years, 60 years, and then the person gets Parkinson's and you think, gosh, our retirement years, we were going to go traveling, we were going to go to Europe, we were going to do all these fun things, where now we can't do that. And then you're grieving over the loss of not being able to have that independence to just go when you want to go, where you want to go. And some people can't do that, and some can. So you learn to live with what your restrictions are, and you go from there. Like I said, you go on the slide, you go from there. So it's okay to have a pity party as a caregiver, as a care partner, and then you move on. So what I'd like for you guys to do is get out of that. What do you foresee your future is going to be like? And the number one question I get from people when I meet with them when they're newly diagnosed is, what am I going to be like? What am I going to be in a wheelchair? Am I going to be able to take care of myself? Is my loved one going to have to take care of me? And I don't know. The doctors don't know. We just don't know. There are some things that are similar, and there are some things that that people have that can give kind of a projection of projecting where you may go. But you know, the number one thing that they found through research is exercise. So that's something you can do with your loved one during all the time, but especially during the holidays. Can go for a walk, or if the person needs to use a cane or a walker, then do that. And if you need to use a cane or a walker, you do that as well. So, and in a safe way. I don't want, when we've had a wonderful fall so far, we haven't really had a lot of snow, but I want you guys to be careful in your environment about where you go and what you do. So, because anybody can fall. If you're on the ice, in the snow, whether you have Parkinson's or not, we all can fall. And so I don't want anybody to feel like I have to do all these things. And so what I want you to do is do what's best for you and go from there. So the moral of the story is, start where you're at, start where he's at or she's at, and go from there. So again, you're going to go from there and just deal with what's in front of you today. There's some things you have to be prepared for as far as taking medication when you take the medicines, and that should be at the same time every day. And people can have a system, so you can go on with your life. You take, when you take your medicine in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, if you have to take it more than 3 times a day, have a plan for that. And then go on and appreciate the holidays and what's going on with that. Okay, next slide, please. So, a lot of us are become into that routine of becoming the care partner. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to be the spouse, that's there for the person, and that you're going to do everything that you can to help them. Know that you can, like I said earlier, the consistent thing about Parkinson's, it's inconsistent. So it's kind of like life, we think that things are pretty consistent and then get thrown a curveball with having the issues of Parkinson's thrown at you. And in life, sorry, I'm just admitting people. Life is challenging. It's also wonderful too. So when you have the holidays and the bustle of the holidays, thinking, and I don't know why we get so crazy over the holidays. Should be good time, that you don't need to do everything. It's okay to skip doing some things. So as far as the holidays, when you make a meal, you don't have to make every single part of the meal. You don't want to do it, then you don't, you enjoy what you're doing with your loved one. And it doesn't have to be, don't set yourself up for failure. Try to appreciate every minute of every day. And what I do, and can we do the next slide? Is putting yourself first. And that's really hard to do. It's hard to look at ourselves, putting ourselves under a spotlight, because the person with Parkinson's has the spotlight on them all the time. But I want you to look at in order to be there for your loved one, you have to be there for yourself. So exercise. It's so important for a person with Parkinson's to exercise, and it's important for you to exercise. Some people love to exercise, some people don't. So what you can do is something fun for you and your partner is to put some music on, and then you can dance. What you can do is share that intimacy of being there with each other. And if they can't stand, and if they're having a hard time with balance, sitting there, and you can stand up with them and dance to the music and listening to music, that too is very calming for people. So I'm not saying put heavy metal on, but I'm saying even if you have some classical music and listening to it together. So that's a form of exercise by getting up and walking around. Make sure you eat. A lot of times people tend not to do as much when they're stressed. They either overeat or don't. So make sure you eat yourselves and sleep well. Make sure you get plenty of rest. Some people with Parkinson's have a hard time sleeping at night, might have vivid dreams. They have REM sleep disorder, which means that they're right where in the brain where the dopamine is produced is right next to the sleep center, which doesn't, when we're sleeping, our brain tells us in deep sleep not to move. People with Parkinson's don't get that signal because the dopamine is right next to where it's produced, where the sleep center is. So sometimes people with Parkinson's tend to move around a lot when they're sleeping, really restless. Men tend to, research has proven, stick their fists out and can hurt their partner. Women tend to do sleepwalking who have Parkinson's. So we need to get it, and they tend to talk in their sleep, really loud, mean kind of things, and they don't have any recollection the next day. But the person who's the care partner in the bed next to you or in the same bed is not able to sleep either. So sometimes people have to sleep in separate bedrooms, and we need to get some rest too. So when they take a nap, and you can take a nap too. So managing your stress level. It's important to take care of yourself. Breathing. So I want you all, breathing is not, you don't have a copay with breathing. You don't have any side effects from breathing. So I want you to do some deep breathing where you breathe in through your nose, hold it for 4 seconds, and then breathe out. And that tends to help you. And do it 4 times in a row. And then you can do it throughout the day because we forget to breathe. And when we're stressed, we can get really uptight. So people with Parkinson's should learn to breathe too, because their muscles get tight when they aren't breathing well and can cause other symptoms that can come up. So I want you to practice breathing. Think about a picture frame, that there's 4 corners to the picture frame. So go from one to the next, to the next, to the next with breathing. And if you need to do it multiple times a day, you do it multiple times a day. You know, another thing you can do when you're breathing in, think of calm. When you breathe in. When you breathe out, you're breathing out all the stress. You're breathing in, calm, peace, and breathing out stress. And you can also visualize being at your favorite place to go to, whether it's traveling somewhere in Hawaii or the mountains. It doesn't matter, wherever you like to be. And if you like to be with your loved one, some happy occasion, then you do that. So that's what I want you to do. These 4 different things: exercise, eat healthy. You can also eat junk food when you want to, but I want you to try to have a steady meal plan for yourself. Sleep well and manage your stress. Okay, next slide. Okay, so all of this, I don't want you to forget to have fun. So use all your senses. When you're in the house, when you're out, visualize, if you're preparing for the holidays, let's say for Christmas, if you decide to get a tree or not, visualize a tree, a Christmas tree. You might have a little one to make it easier for you. May not want to put up a tree. It just depends for you what you want to do. So visualize your decorations. So that helps with calming yourself down. So you're going to use all your senses. If you're having a rough day with your partner who has Parkinson's, if they're having struggles with different issues with their Parkinson's, that they're can't move today, it's hard time, they might have fallen, then take a break. Visualize different fun things. Think about food. What does it smell like that you've made for them? And seeing friends, talk to your friends on Zoom or social distancing. You can have them outside about 6 feet apart and listening to music. What does that sound feel like to you? Touch different things. So touch your different desserts, or what does it feel like? Are they your food? What does the clothes you have feel like? What is if you have a pet your dog or cat, that tends to relax people too. So when you're smell the food in your kitchen, taste your meal, and don't set high expectations for yourself. Don't set high expectations. Remember that during the holidays, we see on TV about, going shopping, doing this, doing that. You don't need to do all those things. It's about being with your partner and appreciating them for who they are and what you are. Why did you guys get married? What do you like about the person or your partner? What do you like that they do for you? They still can be themselves. Remember, Parkinson's doesn't have to define them. And, actually you can have fun together. And seize the day, carpe diem. Just do what you can for yourselves and enjoy being with each other. And, if you need a break from each other, they need a break from you too. So, go outside, go on a different floor or a different room in the house when you need a break, and talk to your friends, talk to other family members, enjoy hearing other people as well. Everybody has to have a break from each other because that's just natural kind of thing. Not nature, natural. It's natural for us to do that. Okay, next slide, please. You can ad-lib and compromise with stuff. If it's difficult to make your special Thanksgiving holiday meal, get takeout. Have a family member or friend bring you food. If you're just tired, you don't want to do it, then ask someone to help you, a neighbor, friends. When you're buying presents for people, you can buy them online. You don't have to buy everything for every single person. Maybe have for the holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, you can have things sent to them. Give gift cards. That always is good. So this way you don't have to wrap presents. If you like wrapping presents, then go ahead and do that. Whatever brings you peace and happiness, that isn't a burden, it isn't another chore. You do things for yourself. Compromise with what you want to do. And this year is a different kind of year with the pandemic, and so not everybody can go shopping or being around large crowds, or go to eat in restaurants right now. So kind of gives us a break from having to do that. So it's trying to find the positive in some stressful times. So don't forget to breathe. Be grateful for what you have. Don't think about the future. Think about today. If today's not a great day for your loved one or for you, it's going to get better. So one day at a time, sometimes 1 minute at a time, and then you go on.